guess what's interesting about this panel is we are all men of diverse backgrounds, ages, and interests. I mean, I'm a gay man. You guys, the rest of you want to put it in those sort of terms of labels, which is different from the rest of you.
Yeah, at least we think so.
At least we think, well, it depends on how many drinks you've had, I guess. How would you say the tools of access have contributed to you with being a man?
That's a pretty cool question. And, well, one thing to go around it a little bit, like what I've noticed with because, you know, you change so much and sometimes you don't realise how much you've changed until someone else acknowledges it. So, but I have, you know, people that will come around to my house, say for instance, to do something, or to, you know, workers or whatever, and people will go anywhere from 10 minutes to a couple of hours before they'll say, "What do you do? Like, what is it you do?" And, you know, and you explain to these people and you can feel their world's changed just by that. It's like we do this thing called access. It's about these tools that empower you to ask questions, to know what you know and all this. And it's just amazing how, when you're actually being yourself, how much you can contribute to other men as well just by being that.
I found one of the things as a man, you said, what is it like being, what are the tools of access? It's helped me understand women better.
Oh, that's great.
And the fact that I'll never understand, but I'm an allowance of that. So one of the great gifts that access has been is to actually be an allowance and to hear what is rather than what we think it is. But also at the same time, not just my wife, we've been married 40 years, all right? And every time in the morning we uncreate and destroy our relationship, if we got nothing else out of access than that would keep me coming back and back and back and back just from the sheer gratitude of that. But what I found is being a man, what it does is enables me to see the madness that's around us, but also how to actually function within that as well too. And not only that, this is the fun part, the business part, how to turn it to advantage.
Yeah, no, I would want to say, I love when Steve says, like, yeah, maybe the key is not to understand it, maybe the key is to just be an allowance of that I will probably never understand it. I love that. And all of these tools have helped me so much to actually be that allowance, and I would probably a couple of years have called it understand it, but now I do understand that I do not understand it, and still have way more ease of being with women and being with men and being with everyone, just from a different space. And that's where my experience is really how the tool really supports you in actually getting out of all these places where you have made yourself wrong. Like, and for me it's every day I get out of wrongness of more and more and more and more and more and more and more things, and I'm not saying in any way that I don't ever make myself wrong anymore.
Just less.
Yes, and every time I do, I actually do step into more of me and have more ease with, like what you said, and have more possibilities shows up.
I think when you do anything for yourself, which is different from the norm, as a man, then there's always judgment. So if you don't go down to the pub on a Friday, or you don't go to the footy, or you like to improve yourself, or things like that, there's always a judgment. As Brendon was saying, people say, "Oh, what is it? What do you do?" "Oh, that's a bit sort of crazy or strange."
It's a bit la-di-da,
woo-woo, or are you one of these or one of those? And beforehand, when I was doing things, I'd get really uptight about that and say, "Oh, you know, should I hide or what should I do?" Judgments. Now it's very much, yeah, that's what I do. You know, it's helped me pay off my mortgage, it's helped me generate money, it's helped my businesses be successful. My relationship with my wife is fantastic. I've got these things that I can do with her together which are beyond anything that I knew before. So it's helped me in every facet of my life. And I'm a tactile person, I like to see results, you know.
One of the most powerful things for me with access has been what Gary Douglas has showed me in terms of intimacy, and it sort of comes to mind with what you're saying, Shaun. From Gary's point of view, or as he puts it, intimacy has these 5 elements of vulnerability, allowance, gratitude, honor, and trust. And as men, I don't know that the conventional definition of what a man is supposed to be often includes that. It's like for me, being a quote-unquote gay man, being allowed and invited to have intimacy with other men, and it not be misconstrued as sexual or have any sort of barrier or limitation on it. But as you say, not having to hide what you actually would like or what you're actually interested in terms of changing your life and being more of who you really are.